In the vast rangelands of eastern Oregon, where junipers dot the high desert and the Steens Mountain looms like a sleeping giant, ranchers have been confronting a phenomenon that defies rational explanation. Since the late 1970s, cattle have been found dead under circumstances so bizarre that they've left veterinarians baffled, law enforcement puzzled, and hardened ranchers questioning their sanity. The typical scene plays out like this. A rancher making their morning rounds discovers one of their prized cattle lying dead in the field. At first glance, it might appear to be a routine loss, but upon closer inspection, the horrifying details emerge. The carcass bears surgical precise incisions, with specific organs removed with inexplicable precision. Most commonly, the animal's tongue, reproductive organs, and rectum are excised with what appears to be laser-like accuracy. There are no traces of blood on or around the body, despite the significant mutilations. Perhaps most disturbing is the complete absence of tracks or signs of struggle. In cases where the ground is soft enough to show prints, only the hoof marks of the dead animal are visible, as if it were dropped from above. No predator prints, no human footprints, no tire tracks, nothing to suggest how the perpetrators approached or left the scene. In Harney County, rancher Dave Stoner discovered one such case in 1999 that still haunts him. His prize Black Angus heifer was found with its left eye removed, along with a perfect circular incision around its rectum. The cuts were cauterized, showing signs of intense heat application. Local veterinarians who examined the carcass noted that achieving such precise excisions would require a level of surgical skill far beyond that of any local predator or prankster. The Lake County Sheriff's Department has maintained files on dozens of similar cases spanning 4 decades. Deputy Mark Henderson, who investigated several incidents in the early 2000s, noted that the mutilations often occurred during periods of increased UFO sightings in the region. "We're not saying it's aliens," Henderson stated, "but we can't explain how these mutilations are being performed, or why conventional predators and scavengers won't touch the carcasses. What makes these cases particularly chilling is the consistency of the surgical technique across thousands of similar incidents throughout the American West. The cuts are always clean, precise, and appear to be cauterized. Traditional tools like knives or cutting implements would leave telling marks, but these incisions show evidence of an unknown technology that can cut through bone and tissue with extraordinary precision while simultaneously sealing blood vessels." Former state veterinarian Dr. Karen Bridges examined multiple mutilated cattle during her tenure and found that the removal of organs appeared to be conducted with a level of surgical precision that would be difficult to achieve even in a sterile operating room, let alone in an open field. "These aren't random attacks or predator kills," she explained. "The selective removal of specific organs, the lack of blood, and the surgical precision suggest something far more sophisticated." Adding to the mystery is the apparent ability of the perpetrators to avoid detection despite increased surveillance. Ranchers have installed motion-activated cameras, conducted night patrols, and even employed private investigators, all to no avail. The mutilations continue to occur in areas that should be impossible to access without detection. In 2015, a particularly disturbing case emerged near Burns, Oregon. A rancher discovered 5 cattle in a single week, each bearing identical surgical alterations. Analysis of the grass around the carcasses showed signs of extreme heat exposure, as if something hovering above had scorched the vegetation. The animals' bodies were positioned in a precise geometric pattern, suggesting deliberate placement rather than random death. Local law enforcement agencies have investigated numerous theories over the years, from cult activities to government experiments. However, none of these explanations adequately account for the technological sophistication evident in the mutilations or the perpetrator's ability to avoid detection. The FBI briefly investigated similar cases in the 1970s, but closed their inquiry without reaching any conclusions. Some researchers have suggested that the mutilations could be part of a covert biological monitoring program, either by government agencies or unknown entities, tracking diseases or environmental contaminants through specific organ sampling. However, this theory doesn't explain the theatrical nature of the mutilations or why conventional sampling methods aren't used instead. The financial impact on ranchers has been significant. A single cow can represent a loss of thousands of dollars, and insurance companies typically don't cover losses from mysterious mutilations. Beyond the monetary cost, the psychological toll on ranching communities has been profound. The seemingly impossible nature of these events has created a persistent undercurrent of fear and uncertainty in these typically stoic farming communities. What makes Oregon's cattle mutilation phenomenon particularly unsettling is its persistence over time and its resistance to rational explanation. Despite advances in surveillance technology and increased awareness, the perpetrators continue to operate with impunity, leaving behind evidence that seems to mock our understanding of what's possible. As the sun sets over Oregon's high desert, ranchers continue their vigilant watch over their herds, knowing that somewhere in the vast darkness, forces beyond their comprehension might be selecting their next target. The mystery of the cattle mutilations remains unsolved, a dark reminder that despite our technological advancement and scientific understanding, there are still phenomena that defy explanation and challenge our perception of reality. These incidents have become deeply woven into the fabric of Oregon's rural mythology, but unlike most myths, they leave behind physical evidence, cold, hard proof that something beyond our understanding continues to stalk the rangeland under cover of darkness. Until concrete answers emerge, the cattle mutilation phenomenon remains one of Oregon's most disturbing mysteries, a reminder that sometimes the truth isn't just stranger than fiction, it's far more terrifying.